Hi, boys, girls, and families. Today we are going to read chapters 16 and 17 of Hero Hurricane Rescue. The last that we ended off with, the boys had recently found that the Boy Scout troop, and they were out in the woods during the hurricane and the storm. And one of their dads was actually the troop leader or the scout pack leader. I think it might be scout pack. And he was injured. He had a broken leg. So Ben, Noah, Hero, Jack, and Scout all were working on getting themselves to safety, as well as the new addition of the boys. So that's where we stopped at. They were making good progress, but as they neared the top of the hill, the path abruptly narrowed to no more than 2 feet wide. The ground dropped off sharply to the left and sloped steeply upward to the right. Ben's pack brushed against the roots and branches that struck out from the walls of the earth next to him. Ben told the boys to be careful while they stepped sideways along the treacherous path. Scout and Hero yipped and howled encouragement. Soon they arrived on the bank of a creek, although it looked more like a raging river. It was churning with debris from the hurricane. Ben and Hero stopped, and the group came to a halt behind them. Ugh, Jack said quietly so the boys could hear. Where's the bridge? According to the map in Ben's hand, it was supposed to be right where they were standing. Ben double-checked the coordinates on his compass. This was the spot. That is the bridge, he said, pointing to what was left of it. Some old lumber lying across the creek, partially submerged in the water, with a busted railing leading off one side and one side only. The other side was long gone, probably miles downstream by then. The bridge bobbled up and down with the current. Oh man, Noah exhaled. He looked nervously over his shoulder at the kids and their heavy backpacks. How are we going to get them over that? Ben stepped closer to the water to investigate. He put one foot on the wood and pushed down hard. It wobbled and bounced, but it was still firmly attached to its concrete base. As long as the wood itself held out, they should be able to make it. Ben walked back to Noah and Jack inside very carefully, he said. Within a few minutes, Ben, Noah, and Jack had come up with a pretty good plan for getting across, but they would have to go one at a time. Noah was first. The tether he had created with the dog's leashes was more than enough to reach the creek. Ben tied it tightly around Noah's waist, weaving it through Noah's belt loop. There was no way it would come off. Then Ben clipped the other end to Hero's collar. Hero would stay on the bank while Noah made his way slowly across the bridge. If Noah fell, Hero was strong enough to pull him back onto the bank. You ready? Ben asked. Noah nodded, but didn't speak. He took the first step on the wood. It sagged under his weight, and he grimaced. He took another step, then another. The bridge dipped and bowed as he tread across it carefully. The water ran over the tops of his boots. Ben and Jack stood on either side of Hero, their hands on the tether for backup. Ben forced himself to inhale, then exhale. Inhale, exhale. Noah took a few more steps. He gripped what was left of the railing for balance. The bridge held. Noah stepped onto the muddy ground on the other side. Whoop, he yelled, his fist punching in the air in victory. Nice work, Ben yelled. Go, Noah, Jack shouted. The Boy Scouts cheered in unison. Noah untied the tether from his waist and found a strong tree on the far bank. He tied that end of the leash to it. Now, the boys would have something other than the railing to hold on to. Okay, guys, line up single file, Jack called out to them. The boys did as they were told. Jonah went first. He bit his lower lip and focused hard on putting one foot in front of the other. Don't look down, Noah urged him from the other side. Look at me. Jonah lifted his gaze and locked eyes with Noah. That's right, buddy. One foot in front of the other. You got it. Jonah looked tiny under his giant backpack, his skinny arms held out to the sides to balance. When he reached the middle of the bridge, he hesitated over the churning water for a moment. Then he forged ahead. When he made it to the other side, he jumped into Noah's arms in triumph. Emmett was next, then Isaiah. All while, Hero stood firmly in the mud, his muscles flexed as he braced the tether against his body. Ben unhooked the tether from Hero's collar as he prepared to tie the cord around a boy named Diego's waist. As he did, Hero raised his head and cocked it to the side. His ears shut up, he sniffed the air, and he stared upstream into the distance. Ben knew his dog's posture only meant one thing. Hero was tuned into something he couldn't hear or see yet. The hair on Ben's arm stood on end. Jack had noticed it too, and so had Corey. Corey stood close to Ben. He turned his tear-stained face up to look Ben in the eye. What is it? Corey asked quietly so the other boys couldn't hear. I don't know, Ben said truthfully, but Hero senses something. Hero, what is it, boy? Hero didn't wait around for Ben to figure out the answers. He sprinted toward the remaining 4 boys who were spread out along the bank, waiting nervously their turn to cross the river. He ran circles around them, slowly pushing them into a tight cluster next to Ben. He's hurting them, Jack said to Ben. Yeah, Ben said, but why? The Boy Scouts' faces were suddenly tight with worry. Hero ran back and forth between them and the water's edge. He barked ferociously, repeating the movement and then the sound over and over again. Finally, it clicked. Ben knew what Hero was trying to tell them. We're out of time, Ben whispered to Jack. I don't know why, but we have to get out of here. He turned to the kids. Okay, boys, he said evenly but firmly, trying to keep the fear he felt out of his voice. We need to double time this, okay? That means we can't go one at a time anymore. Ben handed the end of the leash to Jack. Jack, wrap that around their waist and thread it through their belt loops. It should be long enough. Ben nodded as he got to work. The tether was just long enough to attach it to the 4 boys. Ben and Jack were going to have to go across without any safety routes. Jack would go first with Scout in his arms, and then the boys, and then Ben. And Hero was going to have to go last. Ben studied Hero's body language. The dog was still poised for action, still gazing upstream. Ben listened carefully to the various sounds of the forest, rain plinking on the ground, the creek water bubbling and sloshing, leaves rustling in the trees, and the Boy Scouts breathing heavily. At first, he heard nothing out of the ordinary, but then finally he picked up on a low hum, a steady whoosh. It was heading downstream toward them, and it was getting louder, faster. Let's go, guys, Ben said, his encouraging tone just barely masking the terror that was rising in him. Jack stepped onto the bridge and turned around to offer his hand to Will. Will put one shaky foot onto the wooden plank. Jack walked backward, and Noah was coaching him from the other side. The boys were on the far bank, watched him silently, their eyes big and round with worry. Diego stepped up next, then Nicholas and Corey. The boys shuffled around nervously, the wood dripping a few inches into the water under their weight. They slipped and started to stumble, but Jack steadied them. You're doing great, guys, Ben urged them from his spot next to Hero. The sound was getting louder. They had to hurry. The group was halfway across the bridge when Ben heard Corey crying. The boy had frozen in his tracks, too scared to go any further. You got this, Corey, Ben shouted. You're almost there, just a few more feet. I'm scared, Corey let out a loud sob. The boys next to him started to cry too, their shoulders shaking. Your dad needs you to keep moving, okay, Corey, Ben begged him. We have to go get help so we can go back and get him, remember? That did the trick. Corey still looked miserable, but he sucked in his breath and took one step, then another. The boys were moving again. Ben didn't have time to feel relief. Suddenly, he felt the first stringing of sprays of something small and sharp hitting his face and head. It's like a sandstorm, but it wasn't sand. It was wet and dirty. He wiped his cheek and looked at his hand. It was gritty mud and seemed to fall from the air around them. Ben looked upstream, and that's when he saw it. It was a mudslide, an oozing, spreading, seething layer of mud gurgling straight down the creek, spilling over the banks on either side and picking up rocks and splintered trees and branches as it moved. It was gaining in volume and strength as it was swallowing up the creek, making everything in its path simply disappear. The mud looked alive, and it was moving quickly, too quickly. They only had a few seconds left before it washed out the bridge entirely, taking the entire group with it. Go, Ben shouted at the boys and Jack. Go, go, go. On the other end of the leash, Hero held his ground. He dug his paws into the mud and crouched low as he could, steadying the boys. Ben stood next to him, holding onto the ropes too. Come on, come on, come on, Noah shouted. Finally, Jack, Scout, and the rest of the kids tumbled onto land. Noah quickly untied the leash from the tree and began detaching them from it. The kids scurried out of the path in the mudslide as quickly as they could. Ben, Hero, let's go, Jack shouted. Ben looked anxiously toward the mud. It was only a few feet away. They had to move now. Hero, go, Ben commanded. Hero and Ben leaped off the muddy bank at the same moment, landing halfway across the bridge. They raced to the other side just in time. With incredible power, the wall of mud blasted into the bridge, ripping it from its post and tossing it into the air. Within seconds, the bridge had disappeared under the sludge. Ben lay on the ground, catching his breath. He was shaking. Hero came over and licked the mud off Ben's face. Noah fell to the ground next to him and let out a long, low woo. You can say that again, Ben said. He wanted desperately to rest, but there was no time. He got to his feet. Everyone okay? He asked the Boy Scouts. 7 little heads nodded. Ben pulled his phone from his pocket. Still no reception. Noah checked his phone too. Nothing was there either. We have to keep moving, Noah said. Ben nodded. He looked at the tops of the trees for a moment enjoying the feel of solid ground beneath his feet. Today, he had already bested an alligator, a flood, and now a mudslide. What was the hurricane going to throw at them next? Whatever it was, they'd have to be ready for it. Chapter 18. The rain had stopped, the sky above them had cleared, and what looked like a million stars lit up the night. It was beautiful. Look up, guys, Ben said to the Boy Scouts as they made their way up the hill. The kids let out a refrain of wow and cool, and some of them looked like they were walking in their sleep. They stumbled and leaned on each other, their eyes half closed. Hero and Scout nudged their legs, trying to keep the boys moving. Poor kids, Ben thought. He was tired to his very core. Even his bones were exhausted. His backpack felt twice as heavy as it had before. He couldn't imagine how the little dudes were handling this. Just when Ben thought they weren't going to be able to go a single step further, he saw a welcome sight, the top of a ridge. We made it to the top, he hollered. The kids cheered. Somehow they mustered up the energy, and together they ran the last few yards to the large clearing at the hill summit. The Boy Scouts dropped to the ground and released. They put their heads on their backpacks and sprawled out. Ben, Jack, and Noah walked to the edge of the clearing. There was just enough moonlight for them to see the land around them. The entire forest was in ruins. Trees were down everywhere. Water flooded where there had been dry land just that morning. There were no animals. Everything was still and silent. And in the distance, Ben saw the silhouette of Gulfport, his town, the only place he had ever lived. The city was dark. All the power must have been knocked out. Before Ben could fully process what he was seeing, his phone buzzed in his pocket. His phone! It was working! Hero nosed at Ben's pocket and then licked Ben's hand. Ben snatched the phone out of the jacket and cheered at the text and voicemail notifications that popped up on his screen. Now he had service again. Everything from the last few hours was coming through at once. Ben didn't stop to read or listen to anything. He swiped at the numbers and quickly dialed his dad's number. Ben, his dad answered. Ben, is that you? Are you okay? Where are you? I've been trying to reach you. Dad, I'm fine. Ben's chest swelled with emotion at the sound of his dad's voice. He ran his hand through Hero's soft fur to steady himself. I'm fine. Noah and Jack are too. We're together, and we have a Boy Scout troop with us. I'll explain later. A Boy Scout troop, his dad asked, surprised. 7 kids? Is their leader named Marco? Yeah, Ben replied. Have you been looking for them? His dad let out a short laugh. Yeah, we've been looking for them, Ben, really hard, and I'm so happy you're with them. Are they all okay? Their troop leader, he's got a broken leg and he's back in a cave. Someone has to go get him. We've got his radio so you can find him, Ben said. Ben looked over at Corey and watched him anxiously. Ben gave the boy a thumbs up and Corey broke into a tentative smile. Now tell me, where are you guys? Ben's dad asked. Ben's stomach dropped out. This was the part he had been dreading, the part where he had to confess to his dad that he had gone against his word and left the house in the middle of a hurricane. Ben, I guess we're sort of in the woods, the national forest. I'll text you my location, okay? There was silence on the other end of the line. Ben heard the buzz of chaotic police station in the background. People shouted and phones rang, but his dad said nothing for a moment. Send it to me now, son, his dad finally said, his voice heavy. I'll be right there. Are you safe where you are? Yes, Dad, Ben said in deep, full, grateful voice that his dad hadn't asked very many questions. For now, at least. We're fine. Stay right where you are. We're on our way. And Ben, his dad's voice cracked. Yeah, Dad. I love you, buddy. I love you too, Dad. And I'm sorry. Dad sighed into the phone. Let's just get you home, okay, son? Okay. Ben hung up and quickly opened his GPS app. He sent his dad their coordinates and then pulled out Marco's radio and tried to make contact. Marco, can you hear me? Ben said into the device. The airwaves crackled. We're safe. Help is on the way. There was static. Then, thank you, Ben, Marco replied. Corey's eyes filled with tears at the sound of his dad's voice. Are you okay? Ben asked. He turned away so Corey couldn't hear Marco's response. I'm fine, Marco said. The water hasn't reached me yet. I think the rain must have slowed down. We should save the battery, Ben said into the walkie-talkie. Ben, Marco replied, his voice cracking. Can you tell Corey I love him and I'll see him real soon? You bet, Marco. I'll tell him right now. Ben slid the radio into his backpack and turned to Corey. He whispered his dad's message into the boy's ear. Corey smiled and swallowed his tears, then ran off to sit with his friends. Ben checked the time on his phone. It was 5 a.m. For the first time since he'd left the house all those hours ago, Ben felt like everything was going to be okay. And that is the end of chapter number 18. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys later this week. Bye.